on the best SugarCRM add-ons for 2017. I am joined today by my esteemed colleague, Kevin Cook. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, hello, Sonia.
Hello. Well, Kevin and I have been doing this for close to, well, you have a decade, myself almost, and we've come across a lot of add-ons for the popular CRM system Sugar. So we wanted to review those today with everyone to get you a jump start on your productivity in 2017.
Yeah, these are some good ones too. I like them. Really good.
These are strong, and we're going to go through just a few slides to make this really concise. We're going to cover a little about who we are, and then we'll go over these add-ons very quickly and really highlight some of the great features of them, what do they do, and the pricing, etc. And wrap up and questions. So about BrainSell, we are a trusted technology advisor and consultancy based in the Boston area, but we have a presence all around the United States. We tackle technology needs before throwing software in. So we understand what is your process in your business and how can we improve that with technology. Let's not just throw software in there with no process and expect to fix things up. We cover three main areas of business: CRM, ERP, and marketing automation. We've been in business for over 20 years, and again, we've got that really core design on looking at your process before we throw software in. Also look in email coming later for our strong lineup of webinars. We're going to be really approaching things this year on a process plan. We'll be going over not just features and software, but again, the process to back those up using BrainSell's internal process as kind of a model to show everyone, and growing about 30% year over year for the past 8 years here. We have a lot to show, so we're going to be sharing that in our webinar series this year. So look for that coming in your email. So I feel like we should have a drum roll, but Kevin, this is our first one. We use everything that we represent, by the way, and Tenfold is one of those apps. So little story and benchmarking story here. SugarCRM internally in Cupertino uses Tenfold. They added it into their internal sales team, and they saw an uptick, what was it, Kevin, of like 30% more time?
It was big, yeah. Big time saving.
Like sales calls made by their reps. It saved them so much time that, because they didn't have to log calls manually. I'll give you my high level on this, and then Kevin, I want to hear yours. But basically, this is a Chrome add-in. It doesn't just have to be for Chrome now, I guess. It can be for other browsers. But it's basically a little side panel on the side of your web browser. It connects into Sugar seamlessly and your phone system seamlessly. So imagine someone calls you at your desk line, and you've got Chrome open. Maybe you're even looking at Facebook. You don't even have to have Sugar open. This box pops out from the side of your web browser, and if that contact is already in Sugar as a contact or a lead, it's going to match it up with that person. And you've got this beautiful notes box here to add in your notes as you're speaking with that person. So there's no more going into Sugar, searching for someone, finding the call button, pressing plus, entering a held call, putting the notes, putting the time, putting the people that were on the call. This is all in one action on a pop-up of Chrome. You press save, and that call record goes in as held into Sugar attached to that contact and their account. Incredible time saver. There are also certain amazing things, like it's going to also match that person up with their social profile. So you can see here on the top, I've got like their Twitter, Google+, all of that is linking up with Blake's info, and I can see his little picture, and I can quickly jump to all of these and connect with him on social platforms or check him out a little further. There's so many other things you can do. You can email notes of the call to someone direct from here. You can associate the call with either a case or an opportunity as well. And you can also do really intuitive things through the interface. Like you can just simply type follow up tomorrow or call next week, and it will actually create a meeting or a task or a call for that time that you're typing in. So it's understanding your human speech as you're typing. It's kind of like Siri, but for CRM, and it's all built into this tool. Kevin, what did I miss?
Well, I had a great real-life anecdote from just today with Tenfold.
Okay.
I was, Devin, my colleague here, a business development guy, was introducing me to a customer. And we got on the phone with the customer, and the customer's name popped up. And I could not remember the name of the opportunity that he created. But the opportunity was right in front of me because it was a recently created record. And I didn't have to hunt through Sugar. I didn't have to do anything. I just got the introduction, could click that link, and was taken right to all the relevant information inside Sugar. It was, that alone saved me not just maybe a minute of hunting, but it also kept the phone call smooth. I didn't have to focus on hunting around Sugar. I could just respond to the customer.
Right. I was going to say composure. Like, that's not something that you can measure usually, but I will know. It's kind of like when caller ID came out in the 90s, and we were all really excited about that. You knew who was calling before you even picked up the phone, and yeah, you got that composure going right away. Another amazing thing about this is it skyrockets user adoption. So maybe you just didn't have the call data before. Like, people stray away from more busy work. We know that. It's just human nature.
Right.
If they have to put in a ton of busy work and clicking literally 10 buttons to schedule a held call to show that they did it, they just won't. And that's where these systems start to drop off and fail. And people see it as busy work. This is like a fun thing now.
It does make it convenient. And I started looking at the histories here. Again, and I know I'm talking about the same thing. It's just the convenience of being on the phone with the customer, and you see the right and left arrows there, clicking back and forth and looking at the call history. So, like you said, the composure. It brings me into the moment with the customer, reminds me without having to hunt through CRM. It's just very convenient. So, Tenfold is one of my favorite add-ons to Sugar just because of the convenience.
Yeah, agreed. And telephony is kind of a phantom crazy thing to me. I don't really understand how it works, but I do know that this is integratable to hundreds and hundreds of different phone systems. So, your standard VoIP systems, your VoIP, your 5.9, all that. It's going to be a matter of an hour session, GoToMeeting, for these guys to help you through the implementation of just linking it up. And then I actually did ours internally, and it was super easy, really easy to understand. Also gives a sense of gamification. So there's like a reporting or analytics page that you can see, okay, who's making the most calls, when are they making them, when are they connecting the most, and what types of people are they connecting with. That's huge. So it's an aspect of gamification now.
We have a good question here. Does this connect, this is Sandra Holland, does this recognize the phone number? Yes, it's caller ID, just like caller ID. It takes caller ID info, Sandra, and looks that up inside Sugar. So it matches the phone number with the record inside Sugar.
Exactly.
Sometimes it may be an account, sometimes it may be a person. If there are multiple records, it lets you choose. So it'll let you decide which one, and that's a great feature. It's not just checking for you, but it's a great feature because you may want to associate the call with a company and not a person. You could be calling a new person at the company, and if that's the case, then you can create that new person from right within Tenfold. Good question, Sandra.
Yep, and on Sandra's question too, I guess this is just so implied for me now that I don't mention it, but it's click to dial. So whenever you're inside of any record, pretty much on the internet, it hyperlinks a phone number, so you can now click to dial, and that same box will pop out. Again, you don't even need to be in Sugar. This is a Chrome add-in usually. Also, just incredible, the social features. We really like that. You can even go back to the recent tab there on the right, this guy, and you can look back at your phone calls that you've made, and you can add notes to them, going backwards. So that's pretty neat.
And Miranda asked another good question. Yeah, what about new numbers? Can you add a new contact or leave someone new calls? Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So if someone calls in, or you press that, press the phone number from Google or whatever, and it's not in Sugar, it will show nothing. It will show that they don't exist in Sugar based on that phone number, and you can create them as a contact or a lead on the fly right then and continue on with your phone call. So, yeah, awesome add-in. They do have a benchmark here of 20 users, at $500 a month. Usually most people are okay with the Pro. The one thing that the team offers, which is really cool, is the ability to associate a call to an opportunity or a case. And the social features also come in team. So that's pretty valuable. If you are, a really, a budding sales org, having the calls be related to opportunities is pretty key. And then for support people too, you'll want to associate those calls with cases. We find that tremendously helpful. So they're nestled under the case and the contact now. So that's what you get with team, and with enterprise there's even more. So again, that's it. There's usually little to no setup. Sometimes for the more intense systems it's like $500, but sometimes there's no setup at all. So
yeah, and I was amazed. I saw this technology at SugarCon years ago. Blake introduced it to me, and frankly, at the time, I didn't believe it could be that easy. But Blake and his team have made it so easy, and I've seen it firsthand where it just connects quickly and easily with little to no setup. Just works.
Yeah. We had an IT person on a call for this last week, and he just kept saying, "Well, what are the IT requirements?" Like, we don't have any. I don't need you.
Yeah,
like, I literally don't need you. I installed this app internally, Kevin. Remember a couple years ago,
right.
And I couldn't believe it because I'm just like an admin kind of person. I'm not a programmer. So pretty cool stuff. Do you have any more questions on this before we move to the next? I like that.
Right.
All right, here we go.
Great.
Moving to the next. Ooh, what is
What's
it?
next? I can't wait.
Collabspot. Love
Ooh.
this. Love Collabspot. Gmail integration to Sugar. I hear they're coming out with an Outlook one. We haven't seen it yet, but pretty cool.
365. Right here.
With 365, Outlook 365. So that's coming. But Collabspot. So the one that most of our Sugar clients are on the $9 user months. Because it does a lot more stuff than the $5. So for $9 user month, you can pretty much do everything in Sugar from within inside Gmail. So if you're a Google Apps user and you use Sugar, you have to have this. It's a no-brainer. It does more than just the regular Outlook integration that Sugar offers you. Certainly, there's also, it's powered by Chrome add-ins. You have to be using the Chrome browser. Really what it does is there's this cool little pop-up side panel that you can see here, and this expands out when you're on an email of someone that it recognizes. So kind of the same idea of Tenfold, right, where if you're on a record, it contextually picks that up and it shows that person's record from Sugar. So you can see on the side panel everything about that person, even custom fields in the contact and account record, and across all records really. So it'll show a summation of, okay, here's all about this person, any cases, opportunities, calls, email history, notes will all be visible in that cool side panel. It does way more than just show you information. You can add opportunities and more, notes, everything. You can edit existing records, like an opportunity record. Perfect use case is I get an email in my Gmail saying, hey, I actually want to up my order to 20 users. Well, instead of having to hop back into Sugar, find it, change it, which honestly, I'm probably going to forget to do that, and then it's not going to happen, and that's...
No, not you, Sonia.
Yeah. And then people just stop using it, right? So that's, again, this is adding productivity and stickiness to the product. You're already on their email. You see the opportunity record on the little side panel there. You open up the opportunity. It doesn't even open up Sugar. You can open it from within Gmail. You edit the op, you save, and you move on. And then you actually do stuff in Sugar, and that is priceless. And then, of course, it archives emails, right? Just like the Outlook plugin would do. So it archives emails. It has email templates, too. And you can even see when people open your emails, which is pretty sneaky. So,
and it's even got, you mentioned those email templates. That makes it real convenient to send out a templated email. And I'm not talking about a marketing campaign, but I mean if you just regularly say something, hey, is it time to catch up? Hey, can we get a call set up for this week? You don't have to compose that. It those templates right inside Gmail, and like you said, tracks it. Also, the calendars. You can connect it up to your calendars, and so it does the same kind of activity syncing in Sugar that it synchronizes the activities like you do in Sugar, so you can see your meetings and your phone calls right in your Google Calendar. Really convenient. That's another good one. I don't use Gmail like you do, but I have worked in this, and it really is a good tool, good and solid.
Yep, fantastic. Another thing about the templates too are that it's easy to onboard new people, new sales and support people, because now you're tailoring their messages and you're making it really easy to kind of meld what they say and come out with a consistent message for your company. So yeah, Collabspot, we love it.
And I'm looking forward to the 365. That'll be a big one.
Yeah, Outlook integration. Flexidocs. So this is a little harder to explain, but not really.
Well, have you ever needed to do a mail merge and print off 100 templated Word documents? Documents.
Sure.
And Flexidocs will do that for you.
Great. What about putting custom fields and info from custom modules in my mail merge? Mail merge docs.
And that's one of the things, people will say right off the bat, well, there's a Word plugin with Outlook, and yes, there is. But Flexidocs is a lot more flexible.
That's right. And so let's look down some of these bullet points here. Using Sugar fields across all modules. So yeah, Sugar does have a Word plugin, and it's pretty basic. It does the trick, but it only really pulls from one module and certainly not custom modules. So this can pick up fields from across different modules, and what you do is you have your admin, or you have BrainSell, because we know how to do this, configure these templates. And they can be templates for proposals, NDAs, whatever you want. And you configure the templates. And then within Sugar, let's say it's an opportunity and you're trying to put out a proposal quickly. You go within the opportunity record and you press the little down arrow by edit, and all the Flexidocs templates open up. And you can pick a template that you want to merge that opportunity into. And depending on how the template was set up, it's going to show all the fields from in that opportunity that you choose in the template. It can also do calculations and dependencies. So if this product is selected, then this terms and conditions statement needs to go in. Or if this product is here, 2x, then this calculation needs to be done. And that's all within a template builder. It can spit the template out, or the work order or proposal out, into Word format or PDF. Or you can hit this other button here that says just email it. And this would send it in PDF format to that person that's attached to the opportunity. And it can also have an e-signature line set up in there. So if you're using EchoSign, DocuSign, there's another one that they integrate with, you can actually put in the signature tags into your template. So it's that easy. You just press send document, and it sends it with the e-signature tags in there.
That's right. This is great for making really beautiful proposals.
Yeah.
And I've seen customers use this where, like you said, there's if-then statements. So you may have a different set of boilerplate for different types of proposals. And that's something that a lot of plugins don't have, that ability to do the if-then statement logic. And that's really convenient, really convenient. And another thing, it's I'm sure it's not a minor point to most people, but it's not something that I've seen and used a lot. Flexidocs will tie into a mail house, a mail fulfillment house. So if you want to send out direct mail pieces via Flexidocs, you can.
Right. That's right. That's very cool. We had an internal experience where we onboarded a new rep just the other week, and I didn't need to send over all these clunky Word templates. We just did a quick 20-minute training where she already knew Sugar, and we were able to just go in and say, okay, here's the template, and you press this button and this, and you make your beautiful proposal. It's formatted in the BrainSell way. It has our terms and conditions. We know that she's not going to make a false proposal. Everything is standardized and makes everyone feel confident and comfortable about what new reps are sending out. And I mean, again, that's kind of a priceless thing where we can onboard people fast and give them standard, SOWs and ways to send out your message and still look consistent as you grow. That's a problem that a lot of growing companies have.
Mauricio has a question. He asks, how does the end user sign and view the document? Is it wrapped in a Sugar UI?
No.
Yeah, you initiate it from within Sugar.
Right.
But it's not within the Sugar UI send. You're right.
Right. Right. So it would be initiated exactly right within the opportunity, contact, whatever, within Sugar, but then the actual person signing it is going to get an email with it. I personally, because our proposals are very breathy and we like to, write in them, I will start the Flexidocs template from within the Sugar opportunity, yes, but I download it as a Word doc first. And by the way, this works awesome on Mac too, so that's fine. And then it downloads to your system tray, you open it up, and you start editing the document to finish it. So with people that do breathy proposals like we do, that works really well. Pricing is really good. If you don't need e-signature, you can actually have 20 merges for free. Wow, I didn't realize that. For free, and then you can get 100 for $59 a month. And that's across all. It doesn't matter how many users you have. It matters how many merges you actually complete per month. And we can help configure it too, because we've done it internally and for other clients.
We sure can. Yeah. I was in an airport once. It's easy to configure, and I connected it up to a demo instance while sitting at the airport waiting for my flight, and I landed and demonstrated the product a couple hours later. So it is really easy to use, easy to configure. It doesn't mean that it's simplistic at all, because there's a great richness to it, but I could plug it in and set it up pretty quickly.
Awesome. And I think that that's kind of the some of the qualifying ways that people got into we chose these apps is they required very little to no training for us. Yeah, we're pretty advanced because this is what we do, but I'm not a programmer. I was able to teach myself all this stuff. So I think that's a pretty good shout out to all these apps that we understood them with little to no training. And you can too. Click data, this one needs a little training, I guess, but if you understand reporting, it does incredible stuff. So Kevin, let you explain this one. This is an exciting one, and I'll bring over some of our Sugar dashboards to show them too. Yeah,
mashups. This is fun. I got into Click Data, and it was actually pretty simple to set up. Now it does so much more than the simple thing, but I got in to set up my first mashup really simply. I want to give a little bit of history here. One of the tough things about doing reporting on live data, Sugar or any CRM, is that you need a whole data set, and most online tools want you to go through an API, which makes it a little tough for a business intelligence tool to do things like year-to-date changes or something like that. So Click Data actually it will build up a data warehouse for you. So as you make queries of Sugar, it's remembering that Sugar data, holding on to that Sugar data, and building up a data warehouse. Now you can mash it up. What I did is I mashed up Click Data with some accounting data, and I created a chart that I can't remember what it was, but it illustrated customers who had done something in our accounting system apart from Sugar. So it allowed me to pull in multiple data sources and build those charts, and you can see the charts down there really easily. Another thing that's very cool about it is the output of one chart or the output of one report can be the input of another. So it's all pretty intuitive. It does a lot, and users will certainly need training and help with it. But out of the box, you can start making mashups real quickly. Yeah, and so that's great. Mashups super important. So have you ever wanted data between Sugar and your accounting system and maybe MailChimp or Google Analytics, right? There are definitely those cases, and that's really, really hard to do. You pretty much need to do crazy pivot tables within Excel and waste a bunch of time. There is already a pre-built connector for Sugar with Click Data, meaning it's already configured to pull information out of Sugar on a scheduled basis. It could be multiple times a day even, so it's pretty much live data, and it will update your charts that you've built. Now,
I'll show you an example because again, this is a little hard. This is a little hard to explain in just a couple sentences, but
it is better to see it than to hear it. You're right.
It is. It is. So here's just an example of some funny data of a mashup of sugar reports, and this would take, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 different reports in sugar to see on one page.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is an activity report and also an opportunity stuff on the side, and I'm able to toggle it by user.
And this is probably the best example of what you can do, because in Sugar's regular reporting tool, you can't do a mashup like this. Even though it's one tool, you can't take multiple modules and put it on one page. It's tough, and it's certainly not going to be displayed as pretty as this. So
right.
This really takes the awesome data that's in Sugar and allows you to present it in a way that's really useful. And
to outside users. So one of the amazing things is, look at this, it's a URL. So I made a dashboard of some of these just by putting the URL into a Sugar dashboard. It's kind of cannibalizing itself, but just imagine maybe you want to show your investors something, like how many phone calls is your team making. You don't have to give your investor access to Sugar, or this could even be for a partner, maybe to track how their leads are doing, I don't know, or how a certain campaign is performing. You can just give them this URL, and this is going to be updating upon refresh all the time. And so you can basically give someone a little view into Sugar data without giving them access to the system and getting them a user license.
So I have a few good questions here.
Okay.
Sandra's asking about this using Excel. Does it act like Excel and do formulas? Well, Sandra,
It can.
Yeah, but it'll also tie to Excel. You could tie it directly to Excel if you wanted to, but yeah, it does do formulas, right?
Yeah, and like really, really complex stuff. And it behaves exactly like Excel with the formula builder. So inside of ClickData, when you're making all of these dashboards, yeah, it's really complex, and really intuitive. Though I was able to make some really simple dashboards based on some of the stuff you're seeing here. I have very little Excel knowledge. If you're an Excel master, you're going to love this thing. We gave this to Brad, one of our lead engineers here, and of course he's an Excel expert, and he actually hasn't had any, I don't think he's had any formal training from them. He was able to pick up and just completely fly with this, and he's been configuring client dashboards now with very little previous experience with the tool, and that says a lot. So, and we've even had clients of ours dig into trials with this and have no training from us either. I think it's just for someone like me who's not super familiar with Excel, you might need a little bit of help, but we love this tool.
But you can also, if you have training, you can do a ton of stuff. So you can spin it up and use it without any training, like I did. Or you can get a little bit of training and put out some beautiful stuff. I really love these reports you've built, Sonia. Good stuff.
Thank you. And gauges, and so a lot of people ask us for things like, oh, I want a gauge, or I want it in a different color. Well, you can now. Sure, you're going to have way more than just having a gauge inside of a Sugar report. You're going to have a whole other, basically a BI platform, and this is going to compete with Tableau and all those major players, except for a fraction of the price. I want to go back to the pricing. And the widgets that you can put on these, the display widgets, are beautiful. There's a little teardrop that shows the number. There's, again, that gear, that gauge. They're like little clouds that show waterfall, little raindrops. It's just really cool reporting stuff.
Yeah, and a couple more questions here. Latha, my old friend Latha, yes, the plugins do work for hosted and on-prem versions of Sugar. You may connect to them in different ways, but the gauges and the stuff that Sonia is showing you work for both types. I know, Latha, you've got an on-prem, and it would work just fine there.
Yep. And again, so just like Kevin said, you can have no training with this and take it on your own, or you can have someone like BrainSell do it. We'll just take over. We have people that just they'll send us a Word doc full of reports, and we'll interpret those and we'll build these, and it's kind of a little bit of an agile process. We're able to to get you the reports, and you can go along your way and send out those URLs for people to view.
And there's a question here that I don't know how to answer. Richard asks about a free trial. I know there's a free trial, but is it a 7-day? Do you know, Sonia? Is free trial? Or should they just contact us? I think it's a 2-weeker.
Contact us. We'll reach out to you, but I think it's a 2-weeker, and they will actually let you integrate your sugar data into it. We did it here, and it was incredible. It was pretty easy to do. So I have no doubt that if you've got some Excel knowledge, you'll be able to do this. So the system itself is incredibly inexpensive. This is about $700 a year for the premium. That's what most people need. And to set everything up, I mean, we're looking at a few hours for everything. So if you want us to do it for you, there'll be some professional services involved. But for $700 a year, you're basically getting a BI platform that you can hook in with not just Sugar, but Excel data. You can upload QuickBooks, Google Ads, Google Analytics, all of it. We're working on an Act-On connector too, so you're going to be able to mash up your marketing data here. And then the team will white label it for you. So when you send this to your investors, you might not want click data on the top, and you might not want your funky URL. So if you buy the few $100 more of the white label version here on Team, you're going to, oh gosh, spoiler, you're going to get a white label. So it's going to have your company's logo on it, and it's going to appear as your system for your investors. So pretty cool. Do we have any more questions on click data, Kev?
I think that does it. There's a lot of similar questions. People like click data. It's interesting to watch the questions come in. There's a lot of praise for click data. It is pretty.
Well, and I think we're really getting there and explaining it, because at first we were kind of posing it to everyone as like advanced reporting. It does do advanced reporting, and it does mash up, and it shows you time periods and stuff that Sugar can't do that well. But it's also, you have to kind of reset your thinking on this one. This can be your dashboard to kind of fly your company blind. That's what Jim, our business owner, says. He wants to be able to go on vacation, bring up one dashboard, and see how is the company doing. Are people making their phone calls? How's my opportunity flow going? What are we going to close next month? Are people doing their job? And I don't want to have to go through 5 different reports in Sugar to see that. I'm just not going to do it. So this comes down to having one place to see all of your really important data from multiple systems.
Yep.
Last one, I think.
Oh boy.
Customer journey. Customer journey. I really like customer journey. This is another way to think about things. It's a little hard to explain. I'll bring up a demo instance. And Kev, why don't you take your... You explain it here, and I'll bring up a demo instance to actually show it.
So we were working with a really large multinational company a while ago, and they had questions about CRM. It's a pure consulting engagement. One of the questions they had was a customer journey. They said, we need to talk about the customer journey. And this was years ago, before I'd heard the term customer journey as part of Sugar. And we ended up talking to them about what each customer needs to see and do, what they need to hear about at each stage of their journey. And it's going to be different for different companies, and for different types of sales within companies, for different types of customers. So what Sugar does is it allows you to establish the customer journey in many ways, not just one customer journey, multiple customer journeys for like a software sale or a hardware sale, and your company may sell both, and for different types of customers. And as you can see the graphic there, it moves from left to right, and there are various stages within each of those larger milestones. It's almost like a project. If you consider the engagement with the customer to be a project, and each one of those columns is like the swim lane in the project. So you have different stages as the customer moves through your engagement. It can be very complex. Where the real win comes in is when you have the customer journey tied into Sugar's advanced process process definitions.
Yep.
So it will alert you. It'll tell you when this part of this process isn't done. It'll give you tips. It can auto-complete parts of the customer journey. it can be really, really powerful. Oh, and look, there it is.
So, and again, it's kind of hard to explain verbally, but it shows really well. So here we go. I'm going to go into a lead. So this can be used across any module in Sugar, even custom. And you can have as many customer journey templates as you want. So I have a client now who has different documents that apply for different opportunities, really. You need to have, it needs to go through this amount of approval to go forward. And normally we would have handled that with different drop-down fields and workflows to say, okay, once it's changed to this stage, then then a workflow it happens and an email gets sent to Sally, and Sally now needs to do her thing and maybe a task is scheduled. Well, that's just really hard to visualize. With the customer journey, you can say, all right, this is the journey that I want to go on. So this is, XYZ deal or document. In this case, it's helping me go through a lead qualification process. So these are the things that happen. And instead of these being based in fields and tasks and stuff that I can't see, it's giving me a view of the actual process. It's not breaking it into different fields and making it very hard to understand where you are in the flow. And these can all be assigned to different people. So basically I'm saying, okay, first you assign it, then you nurture it. So I did contact them. Okay, I complete it. Once you complete it, it's going to say, okay, check, and it's going to move this progress bar forward. Let's do another one, send collateral. Like Kevin said, this can be back-ended by workflow, meaning if I press the send collateral button, then maybe it will send an email to the marketing person that collateral sent. Or maybe it'll do, send a to-do for the marketing person to send a coffee mug, right? Or whatever. But you can see now how these things can play off of each other and really grow like a cohesive journey that people understand, okay, this is the flow that I have to go on. It makes it very clear to people what they're supposed to do. From a manager perspective, very beautiful. Now I can see a list view. I'm going to update it so we can see Sue Smith is going to be progressed here a little more on the progress bar. Oh, you're muted, Kevin. Sorry. Kevin's.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
What's really important to notice is that it's not just for one person. So as you're working with this customer, lots of people in your company can see it. So at a glance, I can see where other people are, even if they're not in the office next to me.
Right. Yeah, and without, because normally, if I wanted to see where a certain lead was in a stage and if it's been touched recently or modified, I'd have to build a report for that or a really complicated list view. And for the C-type people, who are usually A-type people, they don't digest that well. But if I can see this and I can see that, oh my God, why is everything at 28% here? Who is this assigned to? Sarah? Is this assigned to Sarah? Yeah. No, Chris. Okay, they're all, Sarah, Chris, and Max are having issues progressing stuff along, especially Chris. He has the most of, the most stalled journeys. So now you can actually visually see where things are being stalled. And again, this works really well, I think, in the opportunity view more than anything. But it can also be, used just to onboard leads and get people qualified as well. Kevin, do we have any questions on this?
No, but there was one good, someone pointed out quite appropriately that we had the wrong price up there. And
yeah, it's $12 a user month.
Right.
They just changed that. So it's $12 a user month now, and it doesn't need to be matched up user for user in Sugar. So that was another thing that was, it used to be that if you had 20 Sugar users, you needed to have 20 customer journey. You don't. So if you only, have 3
Right.
salespeople, you can have 3 of these.
So you see, people are saving money by just attending this webinar.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And this is also a really fun, sometimes, process to deploy this with clients, because we actually allocate quite a bit of time if we're going to help you do these, because sometimes you don't fully understand your process until someone sits you down and says, okay, what are the stages? And then it's like herding cats sometimes. We just to try to get people to put down on paper and really agree on all the steps in your business process. So this is a fantastic exercise to go through internally to nail down, okay, these are the processes that we want to track, and here's what they are, and get some people in the room and just whiteboard it out. That's the first step. And
all right. So here's another good question, though. Does this, or is this only for sales?
No, definitely not.
Well, tell me more.
So I would say this could be huge for customer support and satisfaction, and also for onboarding and getting customers or clients ramped up. So there's a really good flow, the journey that we have in here for onboarding people. So once an opportunity is closed won, then a new journey might start in the projects module, or it might continue on in the opportunity module until the client signs off and says, yes, I'm satisfied. You're done with the onboarding. The onboarding could be, get NDA signed, okay? Then get, first client call done. Then this and that, and you can actually change and add to the journey on the fly if you have permission to, because each journey might be a little different.
Yeah.
So onboarding and support would be huge wins for this, for sure.
It can be used as coaching too, to some degree. So it's coaching through a process, and like you mentioned earlier, new people, onboarding, helping new folks onboard properly, and it improves the customer experience. Make sure that your customers get everything they need as they engage with you.
Yep, for sure. And you can skip some steps too. If you give permission to people to skip steps, if it's not applicable. So I haven't felt like I've been locked into, okay, these are the 12 steps you have to do to close a deal. Like, I don't feel like I'm being forced into it, which is a good thing. This is also point-and-click configurable. So there's no programming. It's all point-and-click. And Kevin and I, we made our own, right? Kevin, I mean, you just hopped right in with no training configuring this thing.
Yeah. This is a unique one because while this is a third-party product, it is bundled inside Sugar. So of all the things we've shown, this is very tightly woven into Sugar. It actually looks like it is part of Sugar. So this is another beautiful plugin, beautiful
and
add-on.
This is something that I'd say Salesforce doesn't have. Like, they have a progress bar, but it's not the same. There's not another product out there that does this. And this is a competitive edge. I mean, that kind of sounds corny, but it absolutely is a competitive edge because there's no other system out there that allows you to graphically see the journey. And this is a huge catchphrase now. It really is the customer journey, keeping people happy, giving them a clear vision of this is how you're going to engage with us, and setting expectations. So it's pretty powerful.
Some customers will use this to create a task list for the day. These are the things that we need to do because these are my customers that are at this stage, so this is the stuff I need to do today.
Yeah, and customer sat too. So giving, like, you've got customer sat here. If you see a ton of stalled journeys, those are going to be the first ones that you're calling into to make sure that they're happy. So lots of different places to use this.
Yeah, customer satisfaction is a great way to use this. There's a general question popped up. Do all the plugins demonstrated work on SugarCRM versions 6 and 7? And I don't think these are all going to be on 6. I know
so customer
everything
journey, no.
Here is, everything here is on 7. Customer journey is not on 6. The other plugins do have versions 4, 6, I think, with the exception of maybe Flexidocs. Yep.
But there's so many good things in 7. But
you should be at 7 anyway. You should be at 7 anyway. Here's another good question. Unlimited, does the customer journey module have unlimited template journeys? Unlimited journeys? Yeah, as many as you want. So if you can think of them, you can make them.
Yep, absolutely.
Another good question. We're getting a lot of good questions here about the customer journey plugin. One last one.
Great.
Do we have the time? Do we have the time for one more?
No, we totally do. I'm just going to launch a little poll if y'all don't mind. We're just trying this new thing, and it's very exciting. But yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
How does support work for DRI, for the customer journey plugin? Well, it is part of Sugar, and I believe that you can get Sugar support. Your regular Sugar support, I believe, will support this. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that regular Sugar support does support it. If they need to go to the developer, they will.
That is correct. That is correct. Yep, that's right. Do we have any more questions, Kevin?
That's all the questions for now. Let's launch the poll. I'm sure more questions will come.
Okay. We're actually going to skip the poll. So we thank you all very much for joining. We'll reach out to a few of you. Expect some calls from Catstone, our amazing marketing director. And if you have any questions about these, again, we are partners with all of these guys. We can help you out with some great services to launch these products, and you can also purchase them through BrainSell. So we'll be reaching out individually to you guys, and please feel free to ping us with any questions or comments that you have. So we'll hang on here and display this information for another couple minutes. But thank you all very much for joining again, and look out for a really impressive events calendar coming up for 2017. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kevin.
Bye.